ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Solution Podcast. It's the solution. Yes. It's the solution, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the truth. That's what we are here for. It's the Solution Podcast. Let's get to the solution. Let's work out these problems. Let's get to it. Let's tell them the truth. Let's stop the lies. Let's give them the evidence. The Solution Podcast. We got you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you stay tuned. I hope you comment. Hold on. Let me say that again. I hope you comment, like, and subscribe. We've got you. We're gonna tell the truth. We're not gonna lie to you. And don't forget, ladies and gents, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Welcome to the Solution Podcast, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. We already got 3 of you guys watching. Shout outs to Rashid. Rashid says, let's go indeed. This is going to be a good one. I've got JM with me here. I've got Hassan with me. And we are going to be breaking down Ginga Jay fired after saying he don't date black women. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to be looking into whether or not what's happening to Ginga Jay is justified or not. So we're going to be looking at the evidence. We're going to be looking at the actual show and reacting to the actual show and see whether or not it's justified what's actually happening to him, if he is truly at fault for what has happened, because this is a bit scary. All right. Now, before we start the show, as a supporter of Charlie Kirk, I just want to give my condolences to his family. He's a fellow Christian. He has been shot dead and he has passed away. So I just want to give my condolences as someone who supported him. I supported his views. Truly tragic when you can be killed for having an opinion. I think that's crazy. Where's the world heading, right? Now, Ginga Jay fired after saying he don't date black women. Now, we've got the video to react to. I've got some timestamps, guys. First of all, let me get your opinion on what's actually happened. All right, what do you think? Before we actually break everything down and we actually hear what's actually happened and react to it, what is your views on what's happened? Hello,
I could start. So first of all, just quickly, because you touched on the Charlie Kirk thing, Nelson speaking for himself there, just putting it out there. Those views are not mine, but we can move on. Regarding this situation, I don't believe that the brother Ginga Jay was fired because he said he doesn't date black women. I believe he was fired for saying he hates black women. 2 completely different statements, one of which will have real-world consequences, regardless of the demographic. If anyone makes a statement generalizing and essentially spouting hate speech towards a particular demographic, there's going to be consequences in the real world. So that's a lesson for everyone. There's been other examples of this. If you think it's okay, if you can't control your emotions, I think it's perfectly fine to make hateful remarks about a whole demographic. There's going to be consequences for it. So that's my initial view in terms of how I believe he lost his job. I have no sympathy for him for losing his job. In regards to his statement about not dating black women, that's completely his own preference. There's black women that don't date white men who get passes. No one seems to have an issue with that. No one seems to be looking to try to get them fired, if that was the case. So I don't believe it was down to him, his dating preferences. And I don't think he should be particularly, if we're going to condemn him for his dating preferences, then even though I may personally find it strange, may not even agree with it, I'm not going to waste time condemning him for it because there's other people out there that have, their own dating preferences. We see some black women say they won't date black men. Um, what should happen to them? I don't believe that they should be dragged across the internet for saying it. People have their preferences, and that's it. Regarding the video, I think that he lost his temper. I think that he was goaded and triggered by what was happening on the show. Um, I think he responded out of anger. However, as men, we need to be able to control our emotions. We can't allow ourselves to be triggered to the point where we're making derogatory, generalized statements. There are going to be consequences for it. So that to me is the ultimate lesson here for men. Learn how to control your emotions. Um, Learn how to be specific with your critique of um, things you don't agree with, or accusations, or criticisms towards yourself. Learn to be specific when it comes to addressing it. Don't make generalized statements. Don't fly off the handle, and you won't be in the situation that he's in now.
Okay, thanks for that, JM. Peter said he didn't like how black women acted, not he hates black women.
Well,
Well,
that's false. He did say it. He did say that.
we're gonna get into this. My personal thoughts before Hassan goes. I've watched the video several times, and he definitely doesn't hate black women. In fact, he praised his own mother, and said how much he loves black women. What actually basically happened is the women in the panel, they didn't like
Did
the
he
fact.
say the words "I hate black women"?
I didn't interrupt you, bro.
No, just clarifying because you're kind
No,
of
no,
putting a
no, no, no,
false
no. I didn't
narrative
interrupt
here.
you, bro. I didn't interrupt you. We can go back and forth after we play the evidence, but that's not actually
All right.
happened. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll see.
Well, basically, what happened is he said he doesn't date black women. That triggered the
And he
black women.
hates them.
No, he didn't say that. Please,
He did.
we'll go through the evidence. Come on, bro. Come on, come on.
Okay. All right.
Um, so he said he don't date black women. That triggered them. He explained what he meant by that. He explained why. He even said that he loves his own mother. Why would he hate why would he hate black women? He was accused. What pissed him off, from what I've seen, is what actually angered him was the fact that they kept telling him that he hates himself. They kept telling him that he hates his own mother. That's what triggered him. And after he explained how much he loves his mother, and after he explained that he does not hate himself, it's not self-hate and all of that type of stuff, they carried on. They didn't let it go. They carried on and so on. And he lost his temper. That's something that I agree with JM on. He shouldn't have lost his temper. He should have kept his cool. He should have conducted himself better. He should have never become. He should have never got aggressive. And to be honest with you, I don't think that's the platform for him. Um, for someone like him, given his past and what he's been through in the past and who he used to be and so on and so forth. But I think eventually, I think he lost his cool because of accusations that he hates himself when he doesn't. I personally don't like anyone telling me that just because I date outside of my race, and he's a black man. He's a black man, guys. Despite of how he looks, he's actually a black man, and this is something that black men go through a lot, where when they date outside of their race, they are accused of self-hate. They're accused of hating black women, hating their own sisters, hating their own mothers. And to me, I find that extremely and highly disrespectful to tell someone, oh, you hate your own mother. But no one wants to check that. No one wants to look into that. No one wants to hold those women accountable for basically saying those things to him. And that's what I find hypocritical. And to me, going forward, this is not going to be good for us. For the black community, at least, it's definitely not going to be good for the black community. What's it called? Before let Hassan go, Rashid says, behind the scenes, he said he doesn't like his mother. The video is out there. Behind the scenes. If you've got the video, I would like to. We're only dealing with this video, but if you guys got any other videos, let's play it. Let's play it, because on this show here, he says he loves his mother. That no one comes close to his mother. That's what he said. Yeah, Hassan, what's your thoughts? What's your initial thoughts about what's happened?
Well, in terms of the video Rashid's referring to, I'm sure I can find it, and maybe I'll
find it, bro. Find it. We hear from.
While you guys are talking, I'll try to find it. I think I think the whole thing's being maybe blown out of proportion. I think he maybe overreacted. I think, does he have a certain level of resentment towards black women? Maybe, because I think at one point he said, what did he say? I've been with black women and they cheated on me, or they did me, or whatever. So there's maybe a certain level of resentment towards black women, and why he would want to be in a room. Oh, JM's gone. Why he would be in a room full of black women and on camera as well. But I don't know. And there was a lot behind the scenes. But do I think it's being blown out of proportion? Yes. Is he being used as a scapegoat to a certain degree, where maybe some black women weren't happy with him, and some black men thought, you know what, let's just, his employers maybe said, let's get rid of him because when it's not appropriate we be associated with him, maybe. But I think the whole thing has been blown out of proportion, to be honest with you. Do I think he deserves to be fired? No. Do I think he should apologize for some of the things he said, and for his behavior? Yes. But yeah, it's a storm in a teacup, I think.
All right, fair enough. Let's go into this reaction then. Let's listen to what's actually happened.
About African culture.
Is your dad's new kids black, or are they mixed?
So they're mixed race as well.
Give me call it Jennifer.
What was your first girlfriend? Senegal,
What was your first girlfriend, black or white?
She was black.
Oh, okay.
So China, back to your point, the only reason why...
China's point, yeah.
No, I'm not mixed race. I'm black, but I don't hate myself. And I don't date black women. And I decided to stop dating black women.
Get on to him now.
Get on to him. Because he's just...
Let it.
Get on to him now. He dates ginger women. Get on to Ginger now.
Ginger's saying he only goes for non-black girls, and you're not saying nothing. What's going on? Why are you quiet? Like, why is everyone quiet? Get on to him. It's his time.
I decided to step away from trying to chase black women because I was chasing black women. And before that, the black women that I had dated and been in relationship with either treated me like shit and thought I didn't realize it, or expected way too much of me because I'm a black king and I wasn't living up to it, and end up cheating on me anyway and doing some madness. And then when I still chasing black women, and the women that I am in contact with, the contact I'm getting back isn't actual proper conversation. And I'm seeing that they are wanting and expecting so much more. And it must be the specific black women that I was seeing that I was talking to.
She's in the wrong.
Black women are
No. Watch this. I wasn't picking them. Oh, I want you. I go outside. I don't do social media. I did too long in prison to do social media. So I'm outside.
You're in prison?
So I'll meet you face to face, 11 and a half years. So I'll meet you face to face and I talk to you like a man's supposed to be. And I'll introduce myself, and that's how we'll be in contact. Do you feel what I'm saying? The reason why my contact with black women when I got out of prison was shit was because of social media. Because I'm not entertaining the Instagram stories. I'm not entertaining the posts. Why didn't you like my post? I see you posting. What, you didn't see my post? You didn't see? No, I didn't see your post. I'm outside. I'm trying to build up my thing. But you can repost your bedroom and did it. Why am I getting so much?
That's what the black woman. But do you feel like it was the time in jail that unsocialized you to what should have been happening?
I'm so grateful for it.
Fair enough.
So what do you feel you get outside of black women that you feel
it's not
is
necessarily that I'm gaining more from different women that a black woman can't provide. It's just that my experience with black women, just, hey, maybe that's not your lane, because what you're trying over here just isn't working. And God will only put in front of you what's going to work. You just got to make it work. And if they're not making it work, why are you still trying to make shit work?
So what outside of that worked for you? Can I ask, as in
There you go. What do you guys think? Thoughts, my people, thoughts. Come on, let's go.
Pretty normal so far. I don't see anything wrong with the way he said.
Yeah, neither do I. All he said was, I don't date black women because my experience with black women were not good or whatever. It wasn't working, and he said even mentioned the fact that this is not to all black women. It could just be specific to the black women that I was dating. So he wasn't attacking all black women. He wasn't saying this is all black women. This is our all black women thing. He goes, maybe it's because of me, because of the specific women, specific black women that I was dating.
Yeah.
So, Jay, what would you have for us on this one?
So this is why I fundamentally agree with his. He has his right to his preferences. If you ask me to look at his reasoning, it's nonsensical and ignorant, and I explain why. Let's say, for example, he likes dating Asian women, and the Asian woman that he dated had dated a couple of black guys and had bad experiences. He approached the Asian girl and said, "Hey, I'm interested." She turned and said to him, "I don't date black guys because of the experiences I've had with black men." What do you think his response would be? Would his response be, "Oh, fair enough, that makes perfect sense, just disregard me"? No, it wouldn't. He would say, "Well, I'm not those black men. They don't represent me. Why are you judging us all the same?" That's what any reasonable person would say to that type of statement. However, he feels justified in saying the same. That's wrong. Because he's had some bad experiences with black women, to then justify not dating any black women doesn't make any sense from a logical perspective. All it shows is that he has trauma from his experiences and hasn't allowed himself to heal from the trauma, and the trauma has poisoned his mind to generalize a whole group of women based on limited experiences. By this logic, guys, if we're saying that this is perfect, because you guys seem to think this is perfectly okay reasoning, by this logic, a white person has a right to say that they hate black people. A white person has a right to spew racism towards us based on any negative interactions they've had with a black person. A white person can say, "I hate all black people because of the few negative experiences I've had with black people." None of us here would believe that would agree that that's a logical way of thinking. We wouldn't agree with it, and we wouldn't condone it. That's why I don't condone his thinking when it comes to his justifications for not dating black women.
Can I just give you a bit of pushback on that?
Sure.
I didn't hear him use the word hate.
Yeah, me too.
You don't have to use it. I didn't specify the word hate either. I said he made a decision not to date a whole group of people, a whole demographic, based on his interactions with them. He doesn't want to interact with them. If a white person said, "I won't date any black person because of the interactions I've had with black people," they would be condemned for saying that. They would be called a prejudice for saying that. Because how can you make a generalized statement about your future interaction with a person or a people based on the negative interaction you've had with some of the people, a minority of the people, a tiny percentage of the people? How can you make a justification for your interaction with a whole group of people based on your limited interactions with a tiny percentage of them? Does it make sense?
Not necessarily, because
logically it doesn't make sense.
I'll tell you why. Let's say there's 1,000 black women, and he's had negative experiences with 100 of them, and of those 100 experiences, should he then be carried on to interact with the other 900?
What you've done is you've created a fantastical situation there, because now we're going to the. I mean, anyone could use fantastical fantasy scenarios to make a point, which is what you've done there. I doubt he's even interacted with 100 people in a relationship. So I can't really engage with conversations when it starts to become fantastical.
Can we say 100?
Yeah, so let's say he said 4 relationships. Yeah, sure. Let's be realistic. Let's say 100. Let's say 4. Yeah, 4, 5. Yeah, he's had 4, 5 relationships. 3 relationships, probably more likely, with black women that have gone bad. Okay, 3 or 4 relationships with a black woman that has gone bad. Does that now justify him saying he will not date any black women based on those 3 or 5 relationships? You and I know that's not the case, because we wouldn't apply this to any other demographic. We wouldn't say to a white person, based on your interaction with 3 or 4 people, you should now have a negative, you should have negative views on a whole demographic of people based on your interaction with 3 or 4 people.
I think
you would accept it for someone to level that at your community, Hassan, and you would accept it to someone to level that at your community, wherever that may be, Nelson, wherever that may be, Hassan, whatever community you believe that you're part of, you would allow it.
You're not letting him flesh out his argument. Let him flesh out his argument, what he means.
Well, I think this may be the crux of the argument, or the crux of the issue, because I think you might be injecting quite a few assumptions in there. He's not making general statements of all black people. He's just making a statement of his interaction based on black women he's had. Now, if you said 3 out of 4, that's what, 75%, right? If 75% of his interactions are negative, why should he give the courtesy of the 25%?
I didn't say that. I didn't say the 25%.
You said 3 out of 4.
I said he's dated 3 or 4 black women.
Yeah.
And based on those relationships with 3 or 4 black women, he's now made he's now created a standard of behavior that would see him not interact with millions of black women. That doesn't make sense. It's not 75%. It's not 75% of his interaction. What he's done is based on his interaction with a minority, a tiny minority of black women. He's now made a standard where he won't date black women based on those interactions. So let me just finish my point. So what he's suggesting, this is the issue. This is where the generalizing comes into it. So what he's suggesting is all black women act and are the same. That's what. But that if you're making the statement that you won't interact with a group of people based on your interaction with a tiny minority, you've then made the statement. You've then come to the conclusion, I won't interact with them because I'm assuming the same behavior.
Okay, so he said he won't date them.
Yeah, because he's assuming the same behavior.
Because he based on his experience. What does he?
Yes, but you can't base your experience of a whole demographic of people with completely different backgrounds, a host of different backgrounds coming from different demographics, and use your limited interactions with members of that demographic to then inform your decision when it comes to how all of the demographic would respond.
Can I say something, please?
Yes.
First of all, he's talking about his personal experiences, and he regardless. Listen, as someone who dated women from many races, you're not going to end up dating all of them, and no one's going to go around trying to date as many as possible in order to find the right one. He's talking about his own personal experience, and according to him, his personal experience, and he made that clear. This is just about my personal experience. He even acknowledged the fact that there could be out there, good women and all of that type of stuff. He's not talking about all black women. He even acknowledged that. He said, look, this is about my personal experiences. And from what my personal experience, okay, I didn't like what I experienced. So therefore I stopped dating women. It's unrealistic to think that a person is going to keep trying and trying and trying, because guess what? Because there's a million women out there. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to date a million women in order to find that good woman? We go by our personal experiences, and that personal experience can be good. And the fact that he acknowledged that this is not all black women. I'm just talking about my personal experience, and that's the reason why I decided to stop dating black women. Okay, and that's how he views it. I don't understand how is this hard to understand. We all go by personal experience. You could date a woman from a completely different race, right? Could be Asian, Chinese, or whatever, and you could have a bad experience with them. First of all, bad experience will encourage you to to carry on the same lane. Bad experience, actually, what it does is it blocks you, it stops you, it actually discourages you from continuing on that lane. So he said he tried it with black women. He kept trying, and he's had so many bad experiences that he decided to move on. To me, that's perfectly logical. And the fact that he acknowledged the fact that this is not all black women, this is just my experiences, and then I made my decision. What's wrong with that?
So it's not logical. That's the point. It's not logical.
Sorry, I agree with what you said, except one point. It sounds like you're suggesting he's dated a lot of black women. I think even
I said 3.
Yeah, I think there's no suggestion there was a vast number of women.
But that's why I said 3.
Yeah, I'm not I was just correcting Octavia. Yeah,
okay.
But besides that, I agree with your perspective that why is it so absurd for a person to have? Because if it was positive, if he said I've had this positive experience with black women, would there be the pushback? Would people say, oh no, you can't make such positive generalizations of a whole group of people? Is it because he presented a negative experience?
But he didn't make a generalization.
No. What would be negative, Hassan? What using what you just said there about if he dated 3 positive, he had 3 positive experiences with black women, and then found himself single, and said, "I'm only going to date black women because they have positive experiences." That equally wouldn't make his preference, but from a logical point of view, that would suggest that if he dates out of his race, he's going to immediately have a negative experience. Okay. Logically, that doesn't make sense. There's no logic behind that inference.
Past experiences being an indication of future experiences is not logical.
Not if he hasn't had the experiences. Not if the experiences is only based on positive experience with black women. How could he then make a judgment about how his relationship would be with other races of women? So we wouldn't accept that premise. We wouldn't do it. So in the same vein, him saying he said negative experience, his negative experience with black women, he's well within his rights to say, based on my experiences, okay, I'm not going to date black women. But if you're asking me to accept that as logical, I won't. Because logically, it doesn't make sense. Because what it's inferring, and I explain why. Because what it's inferring is all black women act the same.
He never said that.
He never said that.
That's why I said that's what it's inferring. And I'll tell you why it's inferring it. I'll explain why.
He said the exact opposite, actually.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Let me explain my position.
Go ahead.
If he's saying, I've had this negative experience with black women, so I won't date them anymore, suggests that he's fearful of meeting another black women who would act the same.
He has that expectation based on
So the expectation is only based on his limited experiences.
What is
that?
It
Hold on, let me finish. That's ignorant. Literally ignorant. And I don't mean that in an insulting way. I'm using the literal word for what ignorant means. Lack of information, lack of knowledge. So, and I'm saying, guys, if you want to really get to grips with what I'm saying, just switch things around a bit. And imagine a white person saying, due to my limited experiences, negative experiences of black people, I now have a negative experiences of all black people. We wouldn't accept it. The same way I'm not going to accept his suggestion that he won't date black women based on his negative experience of black women.
But you have accepted. You've suggested it's an ignorant view. Can a person judge by what limited information they have?
I said that he has a right to do that.
Okay.
But I'm looking at it objectively. I'm looking at it from is a legitimacy in him making that statement. I personally don't think there's any legitimacy in making it for the reasons I've given.
He's saying it's not logical. He says he has the right to say due to my experiences, I will not date black women anymore because I've had negative experiences. He has every right to say that, but he's saying that is not that logically it doesn't make sense. And I'm saying that I absolutely disagree with it because it's unrealistic to expect the person to because then the question is what would make sense? how long do you have to date black women for? And for example, let's say he continued in this pursuit. This is why I think logically JM's position to me doesn't make sense, because I would, if I was to take what JM is saying to its full conclusion, then that would mean I would have to stay on dating black women regardless of because let's not forget, your experiences is what allows you to pursue things that you like. So if I continue to have bad experiences, okay, I must continue in this path, whether I like it or not, until I find the good one. And let's just say, for example, it takes you, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. Then that means you've got 20 or 15 years or 10 years or 5 years of just horrible bad experiences that could have landed you in jail, that could have put you in predicaments that's dangerous for you, that's not right for you. So what Jam is basically saying is, due to the fact that there is of course good black women out there, okay, and he's only coming from a limited experience of certain black women. Him saying he will no longer date black women logically doesn't make sense. He has the right to say it, but logically doesn't make sense out there, because guess what? There is out there. If he carries on, he can find that good black woman. But hold on.
Can I make a quick point on that?
Hold on. He can find black women. What I'm saying is, if he keeps banging on doing the exact same thing, okay, and let's say it takes him 5 years to eventually get to that good woman, or 2 years after dating women after woman after woman after woman, having bad experience after bad experience after bad experience, to me that's unrealistic because of the consequences that will come with it, of the fact that anything that discourages a human being will any like a bad experience will not encourage that human being to continue in the same path. So to me, it's just unrealistic logically.
So Stan, do you want to come in?
Yeah, if you don't mind. So in any other given scenario, if it wasn't about dating, because what the objective is, or what I'm looking for is he being genuine, or is he being disingenuous and has a prejudice that he's trying to, or is unwilling to admit, or maybe comes out a little bit later, which I think maybe JM is alluding to. I don't know, maybe. But if JM did present a scenario of, well, if we were to turn the tables or to change the scenario, would this be acceptable? The idea of, I do not have enough experience, therefore I must judge based on my limited experience, doesn't hold water. I'll tell you why. Because if you were to say, if somebody was to say, I don't want to hire black or brown or white people, any particular race of people, because my experience with them has been negative, therefore I'm going to ban hiring X. That's racism. That's prejudice. That's illegal. Yeah. You can't discriminate in the workplace. You can't say, I'm not hiring you because of your race. Why is that the case? Because it dehumanizes a person. It takes away their personal experiences, qualifications, capability, so on and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. That's why there's a level playing field. That's why it's illegal to say, I will not hire you because you're black. I will not hire you because you're white. I will not hire you because you're a woman. I will not hire you because you're Christian. I will not hire you because you're a Muslim, so on and so on and so on. And there are measures put in place to make sure this, what's the word? Systematic racism, whatever the expression is there's a check on this. Now, with this, what's his name? Ginger something, right? With him,
Sorry. Call him Ginger.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. The guy. So he said, based on my personal experiences, I don't date black women, so on and so on and so forth. Now, is he dehumanizing them to a certain degree? Well, the answer may be yes. Because he's not, he said, I don't do social media. I don't know if any genuine relationship is based on how many Instagram likes you're giving the woman. And if it was the case, the human race wouldn't survive much without the internet, I guess. I mean, what is it? So it's an absurd scenario he gave to a certain degree. Could it be a case of he's not putting in the work to critique his own picks and maybe say, well, I choose poorly, and the black women are of the worst nature. Therefore, because is he closing his eyes? Because if he has the problem, shouldn't every black man have the problem?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just
excellent point.
Yeah.
You literally just took a bit of the thunder about what I was going to say next. Hassan, because what do we say about black women or any women, just to say, that makes this statement about there's men out here are no good and this, that, that? What do we say?
It's them.
We blame them, don't we?
Yeah.
We say, oh, you picked poorly. Why don't you go and change your criteria for choosing a mate? Why are you always choosing the same man? Why are you always choosing bad men?
Yes.
This is the argument you often use to women for their poor choices. So why are we leveling these this at him? Who are the black women that he goes for? Does he always go for the same type of black women?
Hold on,
Does he
can I
go for black
just,
women that he's physically attracted to but have poor qualities? Because they exist in every race. So maybe the issue isn't the black women, it's him. Maybe if he chose, that's why I said it's ignorant. Because let's just say he went for the same. There's a particular type of black woman that he was attracted to, and it's always led to poor relationships. The advice then, the logical thing would be to say, actually, let me move out of that criteria. Let me broaden my criteria to maybe date a black woman that doesn't meet my usual criteria. That would be the logical thing to do. That would make more sense than saying I'm no longer going to date black women, because again, that by making that statement, you're suggesting that all black women are the same, and you're also not taking accountability for the poor choices you've made in choosing those women.
I completely agree with that, and he does take accountability during the show. Let me just acknowledge Rashid. Rashid quite some time ago, he agreed with him, and we need to carry on with the reactions. He agreed with brother JM. I agree with JM. I had a bad experience with black women, but it doesn't mean I'm going to put all of the in the same bucket. It's a certain type I wouldn't date, as well as other backgrounds. Okay. Peter says, so how many, shouts to Peter, so how many times should he have a relationship with black women before he's allowed to date elsewhere? Why is there a problem with him not wanting to date black women anymore? That's his preference. Okay, as I don't know what that is. Most people, but bro, what's going on with you, man? Most people in the past marry based on subjects like faith and cultural terms. Walter Yeti, shouts to you. Welcome to the Solution Podcast, bro. Surely this brother is scarred by his experiences. Definitely. If he's taking it that far. Rashid says, unfortunately, he's referring to the stereotype of black women, which the women on the panel project. Yes, that could be what he's referring to, but he didn't say any of that. He just spoke about his personal experience, and then later he goes on to acknowledge what JM is actually talking about right now, which is saying maybe it's me, maybe I chose these women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one. I was going out with these women. I wasn't the one. But to me, it's like, what we're talking about is, yes, you're absolutely right. He should have taken responsibility. He should have changed his life. Maybe he should have changed his way of looking at the world. He should have changed his lifestyle, his moral worldview. Maybe he should have done that. But how many people are going to do that? Because they can't find the right person that they want to date. I mean, how many people are honestly going to do that? How many people are going to go from non-religious to religious immediately in order to find a good woman? This is the thing is, and even if they were to do that, it will take it will take time. It's not something that's going to
answer your question, Nelson.
It's not going to happen all of a sudden and all of that. I speak from experience here, guys. Yeah, go on, bro.
Answer your question, Nelson.
Yes, go ahead, brother.
So let's say, for example, you knew of a black woman who was a Catholic, a God-fearing Catholic woman who you would consider to be, as a Catholic, I'm assuming you would consider to be a good woman if she's a God-fearing, practicing Catholic.
Absolutely, 100, yeah.
Right. And you presented that woman to him, and he said to you, I'm not interested in dating her because she's black. She's a black woman. What would your response be?
You are lost, my brother.
Well, so exactly. So you would highlight the fact that he's generalizing, and he's wrong to generalize.
You are lost, my bro. But the thing is, given
Hassan, do you see my point?
but hold on, Jim. He also has a past, and his past is not a religious past. It's a
I
criminal.
hear that, Nelson, but the point is that you would say to him, bro, you're crazy to
Yes,
immediately dismiss
absolutely.
this woman because hold on, because she's a black woman. You would condemn him for doing that.
Yes, I would.
Because and in condemning him, you would be highlighting his ignorance
Yes, but the thing
and
is,
prejudice.
no. The thing is, yes, I would be highlighting his ignorance of the Catholic. But the thing is, I would also take into consideration the fact that he is non-religious, and I also will take into consideration that it takes conversion of a heart conversion almost, for people to eventually give their lives over to God and want to follow it and so on and so forth. So I would take all those things into account. Me bringing a good woman, if I brought a good Catholic black woman to him and said, bro, this is a good Catholic, he would be like, you know what? He moves like atheists move. He used to be a goon. His moral compass is completely different from that of Christianity. So for me, I would have to take that into consideration as well. The fact that he does not believe in what she believes in, and they wouldn't be equally yoked. And I wouldn't expect them to see what I will say, what I will be saying in terms of, yo, this is a good woman. Perhaps look, a lot of these men, the way they see way they think of a good woman, to me, it's like when I look for a good woman, I look for someone that's feminine. I look for someone that's, that's religiously inclined, that follows the same religion as I do, that's humble, that acknowledge. This is what I look for. What these guys, because what they look for is completely different, and no wonder why their relationships most of the time don't work. And this is not just him, this is just the West in general, because what they look for in a woman is completely different from what someone who is religiously inclined would look for in a woman. But I would take all of that into consideration, bro.
But go ahead, Hassan. Sorry, you go ahead.
I'll let you finish it off.
Just a quick point. I just in what Nelson said there, he's kind of highlighted the flaws in this Ginger guy's thinking. Everything Nelson said there, to me, highlighted the flaws, because what it's shown again is his ignorance, and Nelson's highlighted the fact that just because a woman doesn't, if he went for women that aligned with what he wanted rather than what he desired, maybe he would have different results. Therefore, he is ignorant to generalize all black women as the same. Or are we saying all black women are the same and don't have qualities that would be conducive to a good relationship? No one here is saying that. I'm sure no one here will be ignorant enough to say that. So he is ignorant, and I think we've highlighted just in this last 5 minutes the flaws in his thinking, because he's assuming, and it goes back to what I said before, he's made assumptions based on his relationships about how black women are, generally speaking, rather than looking at what maybe he needed rather than what he desired in a woman.
I was going to say something similar, because I think you mentioned equally yoked as an expression. You can be equally yoked in depravity. So the idea that
that's what I was going to mention.
The idea that he can find no black woman who would match his personality and he would have a great relationship with, I don't think is a fair excuse. Maybe not a fair excuse. I just want to see where this, because everything he said so far, you can look at it at a glance and come to the conclusion that even he presented it himself. His own bias and his own personal experience and who he is as an individual has made it difficult for him to find a suitable partner within the community he was looking at, which is the black community. And he's even taking into consideration his own ignorance, I think he said. But that's not such an egregious statement. You would define it as more ignorant, as you've said, JM, and I think Octavio may have concluded. But this obviously, this is not why this is going viral. It takes a turn at some point. and it turns into something quite nasty, and which is a clip that I saw originally, and I think it's coming up at some point. Do you want to carry on playing it or something?
Yeah, I'll carry on, but I just want to say this: we all live in bubbles, people. So, for example, where I used to go before I decided to give my life over to following my religion, the Catholic religion, I don't go there no more. Okay, I found that as I started going to church, taking my faith seriously, my world changed. My where I hang around changed. I don't go clubbing no more. I don't go to a lot of places that I used to go no more. You know, because my worldview changed. And I can only expect him to live in his own bubble. So to me, I think it's stupid if you go to a club and you expect to get a good girl over there. I think it's stupid for you to go to a whorehouse and get a good girl over there. I think it's stupid that when people do these type of things, but in his world, and that's all he knows. Okay, because he doesn't look like he has this transition to another world, so I can only assume this is the world that he knows. And given his background, his criminal background, this is all he knows. So he was trying to find a good girl in that world, dealing with those type of people. And you can't blame the guy for saying, you know what, I didn't like the experiences that I had with the opposite sex. But of course, he's not gonna think as deeply as me about his own situation. He's not gonna do that. So I wouldn't expect him to do that either, because I know how hard it is to transition from one world to another world, especially from a non-religious world, and with the background that he has to a religious world. His world promotes everything that the religious world doesn't. So I wouldn't expect him to do that. So he's trying to find a good girl in a club. He's trying to find a good girl in a place where there's no good girls at. And I think this is where he's had his bad experiences, put it that way.
Can I give you a bit of pushback on that before you play the video?
It's impossible to give me pushback on that.
Well, you're a big guy, so.
That was a dumb man. That's it. Yeah, go.
But I think you might be giving him a bit too much leeway, because he's old enough. He's old enough to think critically enough to say, the women I'm interacting with aren't suitable. They're cheating on me, and they're whatever, what have you. Why is the defining line race? Is he what's the expression? Internalized racism? Does he have a low opinion of black people?
No, because he's black. He explains that he's black. He loves his people. He loves his culture. He loves his mother, and she's black, and he highly praised her. I think race was introduced to. I mean, the question had to do with race, but the accusation that he somehow hates himself, and because of his race, that's something that they kept basically hammering him with. But I don't think it's to do with race. I just think it's to do with, I mean, he was just in his own bubble, in his own world, and that's all he knew. And how do you move forward from that? And James, I sympathize with what James is saying. Yeah, he should have thought more critically. You say, oh, at that age, he should be able to think critically about things. You'd be surprised. I'll be honest with you. I don't find people my age. It's rare to find people my age that are able to do what we do, even just us three. With what we do, and think critically about things and question and so on. Most people don't. They just roll with they just go with the motion, bro. That's all they do. They don't. I don't think he thinks critically about anything. I think that's his worldview. Getting given his past, the type of past he had, and the amount the time that he spent in jail, I don't think he thinks critically at all. Especially not about religious issues or what morally is a good woman or what morally is not a good woman. I don't think he thinks that deeply at all about any of that. All right, let's continue the video.
Just to hear some of the things.
So I grew up in many areas. Born in Leeds, in front of you, what's going to work? You just got to make it work. And if they're not making it work, why are you still trying to make shit work?
So what outside of that worked for you? Can I ask, as in just to hear some of the things?
So I grew up in many areas. Born in Leeds, Town, grew up in Manchester, Charlton, moved to London, Norfolk, Tottenham, then moved to East London, Walthamstow, and then grew up right here, Ilford. So all types of cultures I've grown up around. So my wife right now is an Asian woman. So I'm with an Indian lady, which is, and I'm a Caribbean man. So we're Indian. Yeah, we're West Indian anyway. So it makes sense. The cultures link up. I'm a Rastafarian. Do you know what I'm saying? She's Sikh. There's a lot of things that just make a lot of sense. To ask me the question why, I didn't have time for the black woman shit that I was getting.
Do you think if you...
But I just want to hear certain attributes.
Yeah, wait, can I ask you a question? If you date outside your culture...
He's not really answering her question. And so I'm going to skip forward to where, you know, he actually delves into that. But it's because he doesn't really address her question the way she's asking the question. But yeah, hold on a second, guys. Yeah, from here, this should be it.
That kind of rice, yeah, and nobody has any smoke for him. I'm saying I like all the rices, bruv. What's going
on? To answer your question, well, not so much your question, your statement about if a black man, if you're not dating a woman, a black man's not dating a woman that mimics your mother as a black woman, then there's something wrong with you. I never found a black woman that could step in my mother's shoes. Not even remotely close. When I mean remotely close, not one black woman have I seen walk this planet of Earth is in the image of my mother or my grandmother. So what
Can I ask what your mum was?
My mum is everything. My mum is everything.
As in nationality?
Jamaican.
Okay.
My mum is everything.
Okay, so your mum is black.
My mum raised 5 boys by herself.
So your mum is black?
Yes.
And you don't feel like there's any other black woman that's like your mum? It's just your mum.
Not even
just
close.
a rare gem.
That's nonsense, by the way. I respect the way he feels, but my mom is that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know ways. You know what I'm saying? Trying to put his mom above my mom. Nah, I'm joking.
He's just a one-off.
That's why it's harder. I think you're taking it too literal. Do you think that's why it's hard for you to find a black woman that you can relate to?
And I don't want to be with a woman that I'm thinking, yeah, that's like my mother. I don't want to do that.
Hold on. You're not trying to morph it into the next thing.
You want to? Okay, cool. All right, let's go.
What about you?
Don't think I'm shook. I'm not shook.
Questions for me.
Listen, King, let me tell you now. King, I will make it my life.
It's about me.
King, let me before I go on to him. Let me tell you something. King.
Yes or no?
Obviously, this is the middle ground where it's a little tough for me. When someone's mixed race.
Yes or no, fam?
Bruv, I will tear down your throne, you king. You think you are king, yeah? By the time I'm done with you, all the king's horses and all the king's men will not be able to put you together again. Yeah? Let me tell you. Anyway,
I'm the trainer, you know.
When someone is mixed race, obviously it is a little bit difficult because it's like...
I'm not mixed.
He's not mixed.
Oh.
I'm black. My parents are darker than you. My mom's your skin tone.
Oh my God, okay, this was me. Oh my gosh, this was me I didn't know what your dad was from.
He said it for everyone.
I heard where your mum was from.
So this is a throwback. So I'm black and ginger from a throwback. It skipped 3 generations. The slave master to my family, his name was Francois. So when he escaped on the railroads, my great-great-great-grandmother escaped on the railroad, but she was his main slave in the house. So he used to rape her. So when she escaped, she had a child and he was ginger. And then it's come through the bloodlines now, but there's been no white people in my family until the slave master.
How did you figure that out? How did you figure it out?
My mum, there's 3 of us.
First of all, can I just say thank
you? No, as in, how did you know your
So my mum, because of the way, because of the way how I look, my mum had 3 boys. There's three black gingers.
Did your parents tell you that?
Yeah, no. So because of the way how we looked, I used to get it from teachers. Teachers used to chat shit during registry and make fun of me and make fun of my brothers, right? So my mum made it a point that we knew our black history from young. And because our black history is specific and down to a specific actual look and DNA, my mum made sure we knew every blood clot thing and what everything happened. So yeah. So when anybody asks me why do I look like this, it's because of
respect that.
No, you
so
back to you.
I apologize because I did assume you were mixed race, literally because of your beard.
Why did you assume?
I literally told you because of his beard.
Yes, we know, but is there so?
Anyway, so yes, I will say. I know you
look in his eyes and say it.
I will say it is a form of self-hate. I'm not coming for you. in specific. I'm just saying, I do think it is only because your mum can't be the only black woman that is an absolute gem. There are other women that are out there. Do you get what I'm saying? That are, you just haven't come across
like
them.
You haven't given them
but I do think
no,
it is.
I
If you said it to me, you would have said it.
Yo. Oh, the self-hate situation. Does he hate himself?
Well, I mean, she's presenting critical thinking. She's saying that if you respect your black mother, shouldn't that be indication there are good black women, and black isn't an indicator of decency, and race isn't an indicator of decency. I think she's trying to present critical thinking. The way it comes off, it can maybe misinterpreted, but
Hey, bro, before you continue, let me just give a shout out to Rhonda Smith. Welcome to the Solution Podcast, Rhonda. She says every lady in the club isn't a bad girl. Some people just like to dance or like music. Some people just like to get out of the house. Sometimes, when will people stop stereotyping? Yeah.
All caps as well.
Yeah, all kinds as well. When will people stop stereotyping? Yeah, I still wouldn't go to a club to find a good woman, Rhonda. And a lot of the music that's played today glamorizes, glamorizes lust, it glamorizes violence, it glamorizes all of that. So you telling me that people just like to dance? Yeah, dance to what? What are you around? What are you surrounding yourself with? You might be a good person with good intentions, but the environment that you're in, is that a good environment? Is the music that you're listening to good music? That's what you need to be asking yourself. And for the most part, clubs are not playing music that promotes marriage, that promotes family. They're promoting the opposite to that. All right. Then Ronald goes, religious people fake and effing before marriage. They say they are religious. Lies. You're absolutely right. Um, you're absolutely right, Rhonda. A religious, it's a sin to have sex before marriage. You're 100% right. You won't find a religious person that will argue with you on that. But for you to sit on the fence and pass on judgment when you yourself are not out there trying to do it, I think it's kind of hypocritical. Why don't you go and do the same? And maybe it's not easy being a religious person. But again, that's not an excuse. You are 100% right. As any religious person that's having sex outside of marriage, what they're doing is wrong. And I bet if you were to go up to them and tell them about themselves, they'll absolutely 100% agree with you. So yeah. No one is perfect, by the way, and that's the whole point of the religion, is to teach. It's to help you from imperfection to, well, you're not going to be perfect like God, but to make you grow closer to God. That's the whole point. Growth, moral growth. But yeah, sorry, bro. Just wanted to acknowledge Rhonda there. Yeah, go ahead, bro. JM, Hassan,
Yes,
what's going
yes.
I'm here. Let JM go.
Yeah. So I made it clear that I believe that there's no legitimacy in his making his statement regarding his reasonings for not dating black women. The illogicalness of the statement. I already made that clear. So if you're making illogical statements and basing your life choices on illogical statements, unfortunately, you're going to open yourself up to people questioning your real motives behind it. So it's unfortunate that self-hate has been used and leveled at him, but that's his problem. I mean, because he has no real basis for his, in my opinion, for his life choice, to say he would no longer date black women based on a couple of bad experiences, thereby suggesting all black women are the same, which is ignorant and illogical. Now he's opening himself to for people to question his real motives behind it. And his real motive, and self-hate is always going to be one of those things that are going to be leveled at anyone that has made these type of life choices. So it's unfortunate for him. I don't know if it's self-hate or not, because I don't know him well enough, but it could be self-hate, because his reasons that he's put forward don't make any sense. in the real world when it comes to logic, because it doesn't make any sense, then we have to look at other alternative reasons behind it. And the fact that he made these strange comments about his mother also kind of present a bit of a kind of a conundrum with his reasoning. So it's unfortunate, but self-hate is going to be one of those things that's going to be leveled at people that make these type of life choices based on very illogical reasoning.
Hassan?
Yeah.
Shouts to Joe Baz, the Solution Podcast. Say, hey, shouts to you, bro. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
So everything is going again. It's going well so far. There's the statement, there's the objection, there's the reasoning, and then there's the other objection. I think if the episode was to end here, where it was called Trend Central, whatever the what's it called, Back Chat, whatever the show is called. If it was to end here, or they have to move on to another topic, I think things would have been okay. Because so far it's my experience. Then the pushback is, well, your experience is subjective, and it's disingenuous to present it as being a collective understanding or a collective projection. And then so it's so good so far. No major issues here. Although there was the assumption, because you're mixed race, you must have a certain view of black women, and then it's like, well, you're assuming that both my parents are black, so therefore the argument that I must have an attachment to the white identity or have a disattachment to the black identity as my reasoning, that was an assumption that she made there, but she corrected herself. But if it was to end here, it would be okay. I think things are going to take a turn at some point. But yeah, seems pretty civil so far.
Yeah, I would say that girl at the end, she was absolutely wrong for that, because after he explained himself, and he was answering the question directly, if it's self-hate, and he praises his mother, you have no basis to say that the person hates himself just because he's dating outside of his race, or because he said, I'll no longer date black women due to my experiences. Due to my poor experiences or bad experiences or whatever. So that's his opinion. You don't know what his experiences are. You don't know what he went through. You don't know his lifestyle. You don't know any of that. But for you to somehow conclude, then that means you hate yourself. It's disrespectful. It's infuriating. It's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that to someone. So to me, for her to continue to say, yeah, it's still a form of self-hate. And I'm like, no, it's not a form of self-hate to say I no longer date this race due to my bad experiences of that race. And realistically, I'm not going to date every single person in that race. So I'm not. That's, to me, that's just not realistic. Yeah, Hassan, sorry, you're going to ask a question.
What if her reasoning was most black people who don't date within the race have self-hate, and I'm judging it based on my personal experience, because my personal experience, most people who date outside of the race who are black have self-hate. Wouldn't you accept that logic? Because he's presenting a similar logic.
No, because I would say it's very subjective. You'd have to know the person.
Good point, Hassan. Actually, very good point.
You'd have to know the person. You'd have to know the person personally to know whether that person truly hates his own race, and that's the reason why he no longer dates black women.
But she's asking now.
It's very personal. It's very subjective. You would have to know. Like I said, you'd have to know a person on a personal basis for you to be able to make that judgment. You can't just turn around and be like, yeah, this is self-hate. This is not like a standard. You get my drift.
But doesn't that same logic apply?
Sorry, Hassan. Yeah, I think I'll let you come back, but before I forget, there is a good point you've made there, because it's really legitimizing his statement by saying it's based on his life experiences and what he's been around and what he's seen, which now makes it legitimate for him to say he's no longer going to. Well, it's more than just no longer going to, because to me it's bigger than just saying I'm no longer going to date black women. To me, that's the minor part. The major issue I have is by making that statement, you're suggesting all black women are the same. And that to me is the issue. So if we're saying it's okay for him to do that, then that sounds right. We can then say that she is okay to say from her lived experiences that the people that that the black people she's come across that make these type of statements about not dating within their own race have self-hate. If we're legitimizing his reasoning, we must legitimize hers also.
I'm not saying that's the case, but as an argument,
no, am I? But I'm saying if we're going to legitimize it,
it could go both ways.
Legitimizing his reasoning, we have to legitimize hers too. Yeah.
Is that fair? You think, Octavia? You think if he can generalize, can she not generalize?
He's not generalizing. In fact, he said the opposite. He said this is due to my experiences. He's basically saying due to my experience, I made this decision myself.
Yeah.
He never generalized. He never said all black women. He never said any of that. This is something that's being misrepresented about what he's saying. Just like the entire show, they kept misrepresenting what he was saying. He never said all black women. He just said due to my experiences. It's JM who decided to say, no, logically that doesn't make sense. But then I provided another logical argument to why I believe so me and JM are kind of like, okay, cool. Which logic, is which one makes more logical sense? But no, he said this is due to my experiences. He made that decision. Now you can disagree with his decision. You can say, well, that's a stupid decision to make for you to say you don't date black women due to some bad experience that you had with black women.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you can say that. But the thing is, you're not him. You don't go through what he go through. You don't live his lifestyle. You're not around. You don't have. You're not.
I'm not him.
And some people will have a bad experience with one person of a particular race and say, you know what, I don't, I'll go with someone else. I'll go with another race, because they, for whatever reason, it's not necessarily because they don't like the rest of the people from that race. It's just, they just don't want to go there no more, because guys, races comes with cultures, comes with habits, it comes with all of those type of things. Okay. So maybe that's what he feared. Maybe he feared he will encounter more of the same. Now we can say it's stupid, we can say it's illogical, we can say it's dumb, but what we can't say that is self-hate, or that is because he is generalizing about all black women, because he's not doing that.
Self-hate, maybe not just yet, but to say it's generalizing, absolutely, because he, by making the statement, I do not date black women anymore, is saying this sample pool, I'm going to project it to the greater majority. I'm taking this sample, this small percentage of people that I've interacted with, and I'm going to make the assumption of the greater pool, which he can do. Of course, it's his choice. He's free to do what he's going to do, but he can't be surprised when he's questioned, well, does your mother fit into that sample pool? Does this? Well, in fact, he says black women, so it's generalizing towards race. So he's generalizing to the whole race, this small sample pool he's experienced. Now we know we can't do that in the workplace because that's called discrimination or racism or systematic racism or whatever the expression is, and it's illegal. You can't do that because it dehumanizes a collective. Is he what they're doing? What the lady is doing here is bringing the humanity into the image of the black identity he has in his mind. Is self-hate one possible conclusion? It's not unjustified so far because he hasn't given a legitimate answer in response to, well, you're using this small sample pool to make a general statement of the greater community. He's already accepted himself. I have my own flaws. I've been in prison for 10 years. I don't know if he said he picks wrong women, but he has presented his own flaws and he said, it hasn't worked for me, therefore I'm not going down that path. But it is, as a matter of fact, a generalization.
Can I just make a point on the self-hate thing? This is me being completely transparent. Personally, because I like to look at things completely as logical as possible.
Actually, because you're going to address this, JM, you were asked a question. Do you believe dating outside your race is self-hate? Shout out to Peter.
So good. No, I don't believe that. I think there's people that date outside their race for a number of reasons. I think there's people that date out, they wouldn't even consider it dating outside their particular race because they have a very different view as to what race is. There's some people that don't see race as we see race. I have family members that have dated black family members who have dated white people. They don't suffer from self-hate. I'm around them, and I could guarantee, I can testify, they don't have self-hate. So no, I don't believe that. That's why, again, while just about being completely transparent, I do have a problem with the word self-hate being bandied around sometimes because people need to understand what exactly it means, because I don't believe that if I don't know if he has self-hate, and I'm not one of those people that believe that someone that makes these statements have self-hate. I think some people can have no self-hate and still make a decision to date outside their race because they have a specific issue with the opposite gender within their race. It's not about the race as a whole. They have negative views, legitimate or otherwise, about the opposite gender. There's white men out there, by the way, that hate white women. There's white men out there that only date Oriental women. There's a very big community of white men that do that. They say the white woman is too westernized. I'm only going to go and date Oriental women. Do they hate themselves as white men? No one will level that at them and say that they have self-hate as white men.
Do, JM. Yes, they do.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen white men that date.
My father.
Let me just finish. I haven't seen white men that date Oriental women being admitting to or being accused of self-hate. I've never seen that. I believe that they've been accused of hating white women. Maybe they've been accused of that, but not accused of self-hate. That's why I have a big issue with the word self-hate being used willy-nilly when it comes to these types of people. So no, I'm not going to just immediately accuse someone of, or him even, of having self-hate.
So is it maybe when the black women say you have self-hate, what they really mean is you hate us?
Yeah, I think that's what it boils down to be honest. And also it is obviously there's a little bit of what we used to call, there's a shaming language in that, where I'm hurt now by what you said. So let me find a rebuttal that will kind of
dehumanize you,
put holes in your character and dehumanize you a bit. So I get it, but it doesn't make it legitimate though.
JM, my father only went out, married black women, ever. Never been with a white woman before. Does he suffer from self-hate?
No, that's my whole point. I don't know if you misheard me, Nelson. I said no. I don't believe just because someone dates out their race, they have self-hate. That's the whole point. I don't believe that.
My father hated himself. He hated his mother.
I don't believe it.
He hated his entire family lineage. He did not want to have white babies. He completely hated the idea of having white babies. I think that's really what it was with my father. Do you know how disrespectful that was? But anyways, Rashid says maybe the women he dated are from South London. I personally will never go there again. Well, if you take into account his background and the type of stuff that he was involved with, that would be a stretch.
Isn't that generalizing though?
No, bro, it's not necessarily generalizing. If look, there's things like culture. For example, pikeys. I hate to say this.
That's a derogatory term. I think.
There you go. See that? But the thing is, they have a certain reputation for certain things, and we've seen. So I'm sorry to say, this culture does exist. People from certain areas do exhibit certain behaviors and do certain things. Now, of course, is this the majority? No, it's not. But I don't think it's generalizing because he took into account the fact that this is not all. He even said it could be due to my personal choices and the type of stuff. So to me, he's not generalizing at all. He's doing his best to not generalize. He's not saying this is all black women. He even goes on to say there were things about his own mother. He goes, I love my mother to death. I think she is the best and all of that. But she would do things that I disagree with, but I didn't like. And that's okay. That's just being human. You know what I mean? So it's like, anyways, Aspera goes, to me, modern dating is overrated just to people. I believe that. JM, if you hang around with a lot of white men who date Oriental women, I doubt you know enough to come to that conclusion. You don't know if they hate themselves. Laughing out loud. That was for you, JM.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm saying I haven't seen people accuse them of self-hate. That's my point. I haven't seen white women say to white men, you have self-hate. So this is why I'm saying that the whole self-hate argument used that people like this Ginga Jay guy, I think it's used as Hassan said. It's it's I'm hurt by what you said, so let me try and find a way to kind of really cut into you.
It's a shaming.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just play. We've got like 2 more reactions to go through because we want to get to the main bit where he lost his cool and decided to do what he shouldn't have done.
Guys, I disagree personally with Lois because he started by saying he dated multiple black women in the beginning. So he didn't just not ever go for black people. He done it to the point where he got tired and stopped. So that means he did try, it didn't work, he went elsewhere. Hence why I don't feel like he fits the question because he did try. If it worked with one of the 100 black girls he dated, he would have been with them. It didn't work.
I will say that he still fits. I will say the reason why I think he still fits is because I'm attracted to black men. I've dated a lot of black men that have let me down, but I'm still gonna try with a black man.
But can you end up with a white one?
Because I want my children and my lineage to be as black for as long as possible.
I understand, but could you potentially
and I've already answered the men who have asked me if I could, and I would. I could date a white man, but my preference is a black man.
You're talking about a woman, yeah, and you're talking about mothers, yeah, and you want to find a woman, let's say, and you're a black woman, and you put your mum on that category of finding a black woman. Aren't your expectations a bit too high?
You're setting yourself up.
For any woman, not even just a black woman, but for any woman to meet that standard of your mum.
So is your wife like your mum then? Is your wife like your mum?
I never look at a woman. I never look at a woman and try to find my mum in her. Like that's not a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Jins, tell us about your wife. Wait, guys, wait. Tell us about your wife and what she does and why she's different.
I want to hear attributes.
She hasn't got no kids. She won't have kids until marriage. So we're both like-minded in that sense. What does she do for me? Oh, you want me to? Why I'm gonna marry her next year?
Yeah, tell us.
Okay.
Are you gonna marry her?
Oh yeah.
No, let him. You got to ask me. We got to talk about other shit in this program. Not really.
So long story short, she enabled me. She put things in place in my life and stayed with me when family members and friends disappeared when I come out of prison. And she stuck with me and she didn't have to. She provided things for me and she did not have to.
So is that an attribute black women don't have? Is that what you're saying?
And he just told me to explain certain things.
No, but wait, because you said...
Wait. He said to explain certain things.
From Indian to black women.
So there's no black women on this earth that
can do that?
He hasn't come across those black women.
Watch this. I have come across those black women and they cheated on me and did me dirty. So watch this. The women were doing the same thing. Watch it. All right. Let me give it to you like this. The black women were giving me love. No, wait, look. Watch. The black women. No, wait. Watch this. Wait. Listen, the black women was giving me love, cooking my food, sucking my dick good. The backers was disgusting. I'm talking about up and down. The culture, lovely. I wake up Sunday, everything's nice. It's black culture. But you know what they did?
What did they do?
Me dirty. They did.
So you
me
let
dirty.
Maybe you need to look at yourself.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Maybe there's a reason why they're doing you dirty.
That's what I did. Chapatis all day.
Maybe there's something you're not doing.
Motherfucking chapatis all day, nigga.
Let's be honest.
Because, sir, were you giving those black women?
This is not interrogation.
How can countless black women be doing something to you and there's no problem with you? You're clearly.
Did I say that?
No,
did I say there was nothing wrong with me?
Don't blame it on the black women and say that the
then
black
ask
women.
Me what I did.
Wait, hold on. Don't blame it on.
Don't insinuate.
What did you bring to the table?
So what did you do?
I went to prison.
So maybe you're telling me. Here, man. So how is that our fault? You went to prison and you're upset that we cannot tolerate you. Stop calling me a prisoner. Who wants a prisoner? Who wants an inmate? You're telling me.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
Here's a man that what I'm not. Don't just ask. So here's what, I went to prison and I broke a lot of trust with people. I never told them to stay there, and I never told them I have expectations of them. I had dreams and things sold to me from these women, understood? A white woman as well, right? As a man, I went to prison for mistakes that I made, and I fucked everybody off because I made that decision. Shut up. 1 second. Yeah, no, breathe. No, yeah, yeah. Watch this. I made that decision. I even cut off my whole family line because I made that decision. Are we clear? Are you listening to me?
I'm listening.
These people came back into my life because as the public, you have access to people in prison if you know their name. Am I chatting shit? No. So watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, I talk to Asia like this every day. She loves it. Watch this. Yeah? Those people came back into my life and I accepted it. With that acceptance, I now behaving. But with my behaving, there's karma. You have to live what you sow. And I lived what I sow through those women and other men that did me dirty at the same period of time in life.
So you can agree it's not
I fucked up, they fucked up. I'm not gonna go back to a fuck up, and I'm not gonna continue to do some shit with people that kept fucking up. Let me keep living my life. I find a new lane. This lane's working for me. I'm winning. And I'm winning with India. It's simple as that.
There we go. Now I'm happy with that. I hear it.
I want to talk.
Yes, guys. He was asked, what I've noticed there is he was asked a direct question about, about his personal relationship. What does your woman do for you? What is it that you like about her? And he was just talking about what he likes, what he likes about his Indian woman, and for some reason that turned into something else. Did you guys notice that?
I don't remember anything I saw, I'll be honest with you. There was a lot of talking, a lot of back and forth.
Jim?
Well, I mean, that part there, it was just more kind of, I don't think there's anything very controversial what was being said in that portion that you played. Again, if there's an inference that he's with an Indian woman she's treating him well, and that's justification for not considering black women, again, I have a problem with that, because again, it suggests that black women are all the same, and most, if not all, are incapable of treating men well in relationships. Again, to me, this is all inferred by some of these statements, and I have a problem with that, because no race of anyone is the same. And the moment you start to infer that and start to suggest that because one race of person is treating you well, that somehow suggests that another race of person won't, is problematic for me.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm getting at. That's not what was happening. Is he was asked a question about, what is it that you like about the woman that you're currently with? That was the question that he was asked. He wasn't saying I like my woman, and he wasn't making a comparison between his woman and black women, or Indian women and black women. He was just asked a personal question about what he likes about his woman. And that turned into oh, you try to tell me that you can't find a black woman that can treat you well. You can't find a black woman that can do this for you. You can't find a black woman that can do that for you, and so on and so forth. What I'm basically saying is, it's like they kept getting at him. They kept attacking him with the same thing. He was asked a very specific question. He wasn't asked about, oh, is Indian women better than black women? Are Indian women better than black women? He wasn't asked that. He was asked, what about your this Indian woman? What is it that you like so much about her? And they didn't even let him finish. They kept trying to get him to go back to making comparisons between Indian women and black women, which he wasn't trying to do at all. And this is what I'm basically showing is the frustration. It's like all throughout, it's just like they kept coming back to the same thing, trying to find something to blame him about. Trying to find something to justify this idea of he hates himself. He hates himself because he is with a woman of another race. And what I'm saying to you, this is frustrating because it's disingenuous. It's bad-minded, isn't it? It's bad-minded for
okay, go ahead, Sam. You go
on up like that.
Sorry, Octavio, did you want to finish or?
Yeah, no, I was already finished. I thought you said you didn't listen to it.
Well, now it's coming back to me because there's a lot of talking going on, but there's a lot of just there's a lot of words being used and not a lot of explanation. Because the question they were asking is, what does the Indian woman do for you that no black woman could do for you to justify your statement of I'm now leaving black women because I've had bad experience.
That wasn't the question.
The question was, what does your Indian woman do for you, or something along those lines?
Yeah, it wasn't what does your woman Indian do for you that a black woman wouldn't. That wasn't the question. They were just asking a general question about what your Indian woman, what is it that you like about it? That was the question.
Yeah, but it's inferred because he opened the gauntlet. He said, I don't date black women because negative experiences. So, well, then the contrast must be, what is it that this woman does that you found in no black woman, or you will do not pursue in ever finding in any black woman? That's the inference, because he's made his statement is, I've had never dated a serious black woman. I don't date black women. I'm now with an Asian woman. Well, the assumption is, well, whatever you found in the Asian woman, you're unlikely to find in a black woman. And he has to present the argument, well, this Indian woman does this and she does that. I am unlikely to find it in a black woman. He's on the defensive here because he made this the offensive statement. Now he's on the defensive. Now, can you really?
That's not what happened.
That's what's alluded to. The question can be direct, but it can also be loaded. It can be.
The reason why I say that is because the China guy even said he was trying to actually reject the inference that you're trying to make right now. He's trying to say, no, I'm just asking him about his woman, what he likes about her. I'm not trying to make a comparison between black women. He actually rejected the inference that you're trying to basically push forward.
What did he expect though with the statement of I don't date black women because I've had never to experience?
Well, we can't read his mind. That's one.
But that's my point too. I agree with Hassan on this point. I think, unfortunately, he made such an inflammatory remark that everything that subsequent he says, people are going to always. It's under the backdrop of that statement, and I think the women were quite within their rights to question him in the manner that they questioned him. Aside from this whole fake comment, which I've explained why I don't really fully support that suggestion, but I think they had the right to question him with regards to, are you suggesting that because this Indian woman treats you a certain way, black women won't, and this is your reasoning behind the statement you've made? I think there's pretty legitimate questioning,
because
and the issue is not them. He made the statement. If he never made such a statement, which was a very inflammatory statement, then they wouldn't be on this track with him. But he made the statement. He was speaking to a group of black women about why he doesn't want to date them. So the questions are going to be loaded. The questions are going to be loaded at that point.
He could have just said, I'm with an Indian woman. I'm going to marry her. She's good for me. And that's who I'm with now. Then for them to dig further, then that would be on them. But he presented the challenge. You're undateable. That's why I'm not with you. And I will never be with you in the future. Now they're saying, well, give us reasons. Give us reasons. Again, they are black women. So is it not upon them to dig further into why he has that reasoning? Because maybe he could present a good argument, and they could say, you know what, maybe we should change that. Maybe because the black lady said, I only date black men. I've had negative experiences with some black men, but I will still go on pursuing black men because my reason is I want my black kids, my descendants, to be within the black race for as long as possible. That's her reasoning. I mean, if a white woman said that, it could be a bit far right, I would assume, but that's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother discussion. But she gave her reasoning. She did not say you are inferior, you are not capable. She said, I have my objective, this is my objective. She was very sincere about her perspective and why she's doing what she's doing. He left it ambiguous and then drew away the onus on him to present a coherent argument to a people who are part of that demographic. You can't just say, oh, black women, I can't date them. They're not for me. Good luck, guys, not for me. I'm with an Asian woman, she's cool. Well, hold on. What do you mean? You can't date black women. Oh, my personal experience. Well, what experiences do you have? Well, they did me dirty. Well, you can't find a good woman. Is your mother not a good black woman? So on and so forth. he threw up. He threw a left hook and expected nothing to happen.
You finished?
Yeah.
All right. No. If you remember the clip before when they actually clapped for him because he explained himself. He gave a good enough explanation, or anyways, a good enough explanation that they thought they could clap for. So moving forward, he was asked a question by China. This is a man that's sitting next to him, and he asked him a very specific question. He wasn't asking the. It wasn't. He just wanted to know what makes his woman good to him. So he basically started giving an explanation, which is absolutely fine. It was the women that then turned it into a black against Indian situation. So this idea that he left things in an ambiguous way, that's not true. None of that is true. They actually clapped for him. Because they felt satisfied with the explanation that he gave. So moving forward, he was just trying to give an explanation about how much he likes the woman that he's with, because he was asked a direct question by a man that was sitting next to him, not by the women. So and after he starts talking about the good things about his women that he likes, then they turn it into, what a black woman can't do that for you. Whether they felt like they should do that or not do that, that's not what the question was about. Okay, the question wasn't about whether a black woman can do that, whether another black woman can do that for you or can't do that for you. He was just asked a very specific question. He was given a specific answer. That's frustrating when you're trying to be honest. You're trying to answer the question honestly, as someone is trying to push another narrative forward because in their heads, they believe that it's self-hate. Okay, they basically want to push this idea that no, the only reason why you're with this woman is because you hate the mother, you hate things, which is a shaming tactic. That's really what they want to push forward. That's all that's going on here.
Let's move on a bit because the time is a bit.
Yeah. This is the last clip. We've done quite well, an hour and a half. Hold on a second. This is the last clip, guys, and we're gonna get into the madness. Oh god. Hold on a second, guys. Shout out to all the new people interacting with the channel. All right, let's go.
The semantics of mixed race or not, society and certain people will treat them as that way. So they need to understand the detangling, the food, the cult, these things, because you have gone and given her that. And that was my thing.
So, Ginga Jay, right? Have you experienced any sort of like culture clash between you and your family or your partner's family? And then how does that transcend into now you raising a child together?
No, yes and no. We don't have children, no kids until we're married. No kids until we're married. So yeah, no kids yet. So no, we've had a culture situation in terms of the acceptance kind of thing, but then not too much, if that makes sense, or just the culture's accepting. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't because I'm black. That's because I went to prison.
I black.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so if black was a thing, then it wouldn't be known. It hasn't been known.
I only ask because a lot of times it is known that Asian people do have a stigma towards black people.
Yeah, definitely. And
how would that transcend? So
I don't know the conversations that was had over there, but
it sounds like you're an anomaly, which is nice.
My thing was the prison thing, because I didn't go to prison for anything light. Like, I was a serious thing. So for anybody to consider me into their family, that has to be considered. And because I understand that could be a problem for any culture, because it was a bad thing. So that's the only difference that we've had culturally. Because if I was with a black woman, my prison sentence, I would have got celebrated at the barbecue. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
please don't say that. Not in my family. Maybe in your family, it's acceptable to go to prison. But in my family, even just getting arrested and getting NFA is inappropriate. Please make it clear. It's your family that thinks it's normal. My family doesn't think it's normal. Thank you.
I can't handle this. What did you go to prison for?
Huh?
What did you go prison for? I can't. It's too much. What did you go prison for?
Gab, it's not on camera.
Yeah, like drag.
Outside of the.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, Darrell.
Hey everyone. So my question is for Ginga Jay again. I have two questions. My first question is the things that kept happening with the black women. What made you think it was a race thing?
I didn't.
But you now date outside your race because of it?
Yeah.
Or did I get that wrong?
Not just because of that.
Okay, so what is it then?
It's just a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Attitude. I
Sounds like you hate black women. I'm sorry.
I hate black women.
Yeah, it sounds.
Does
Not
it sound
that
like
you
I hate my mum?
Not that you hate black
Do
women.
we have
but-
time to go in?
Do you know what's annoying about Cookie? Cookie applauded. Over the rest of the women, there was applauding. And then it turns into, it sounds like I hate black women, but you just applauded the black woman I was talking about. Sounds like somebody hates themselves.
Why does it sound like I hate?
Yeah, because what do you mean attitude?
I don't. All right, watch that.
What did I give attitude just now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did I give him attitude just now?
I think you did.
I didn't give any
A
attitude.
little bit.
You
What?
because from
Oh, I feel like you hate black women now.
do you see why I said that?
What do you mean?
Do you see
attitude?
why I said that? What do you mean I have attitude? I'm even smiling with you. What's with the mimicking? What's with the when did I ever do this? Like let's calm ourselves down now because I will show you the attitude that you're looking for because I ain't giving it to you yet. I'm on 20 right now. Don't let me give you 100, please.
Why wasn't it just response instead of reaction?
That's how women are. We like to snap and...
Not all women, but black women love to snap.
Thank you very
innit?
much.
Majority of black women love to snap, innit?
White women do it too.
Majority of black women love to snap, and white women love to follow black women. Disagree
It's
with
a
me.
black thing to be animated.
Yeah, and kick your fingers.
I never said there's nothing wrong with sassy. I never said there's nothing wrong with sassy. But here's what I do love. I love a woman to stay feminine.
So I'm not feminine.
No, not when you get angry. And not when you
I'm
get
not angry
attitude.
though.
Your mum has no sass, yeah?
I'm so confused. Yo, clock it.
Your mum has no sass whatsoever?
My mum will box everything
Chill.
down.
So,
but I don't like it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Do you understand it now?
enough.
Just because my mum does
you
it
made
doesn't
your
mean that I
mum sound
fucking like
she's
it.
the only one.
Just because, are you not listen to what you're saying? Just because my mum
But
raised
why is
me
it when
and was
it's a
sassy,
Latina
doesn't
woman
mean I
is
liked it.
sexy?
When your wife is upset or when she's like angry, does she ever
can have
speak,
all the attitude
does she
she
ever
can.
speak like, I don't know, she's Indian, so I'm assuming she might speak Gujarati. Does she
Listen,
speak Gujarati when she's mad at you?
She can do whatever she wants when she's mad at me. She's mad at
So
me.
it's okay when she can do, but not when black
And
women
did
can
I
do.
say it wasn't okay?
I feel like his wife kind of, for some reason or for whatever he's experienced, his wife has the upper hand now. So whatever his wife wants to do, whether she wants to shout at him in Gujarati, give him attitude, cuss him, call him whatever she wants to call him, and whatever she speaks, Punjabi or Gujarati, he's cool with it. He's fine because I feel like he's accepted her and he's accepted his fate. But when it comes to any other woman, especially a black woman, like his mum, he don't like it. He's mad. Like, it's just not allowed.
But you said attitude earlier.
Let me
now.
finish.
pause it for a
Let me
second.
finish. You know you're proving his point.
So here's what we're
I
not
don't
going
give
to...
a shit.
No, but I'm saying, no, but you're proving his point. Like,
I don't give a heck.
wait. Let me say something.
That's not my man.
No,
My
let me
man's over
talk.
there.
Ladies,
And he likes
please.
my attitude.
Come on, please.
Watch this. No, wait, watch this. You just triggered me a little bit because you did something that all the other black women used to do. You asked me a question, you didn't let me answer it, and then you said you don't give a shit.
I don't though. That's the truth.
I know you don't. So what's the point of the conversation?
Because to me, your point is invalid.
And then what's the
So
point?
I don't care
So
for
why
the
would I keep
answer, that's
dating you?
why.
So wait, no. So why would I keep dating you?
No, but me is
So why would I keep
I
dating
know
you?
all the black women out there.
What does
you're
it sound like?
categorizing
What does it sound
all
like?
of the black women over the couple
What
of
does it
black
sound
women
like?
that you dated. You
What
just
does it
proved
sound
the
like?
point.
You proved the Rose point.
Hello, can we hear from Darrell?
What does it sound like?
To me, it does sound like a little bit of a race thing. And but don't kill me.
It is a race thing. I don't date black women. I stopped dating you for a reason. Stop trying to say that what I didn't
They want
say.
to know the reason.
I told you the
He
reason.
already said the reason.
I told you the
He
reason.
said the reason already.
Listen, here's what we're not doing. We're not going around it.
Let her finish. So can you let me finish?
Let me upset you. Let me. Pardon?
You said that she didn't let you finish, but could you let me finish?
No, I ain't got time for it no more. Get that. 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 You had your chance. And watch this. Hey, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. You see, if we was having a conversation, Yeah, if we was having a conversation because you was talking perfectly fine, no attitude, and you was delegating yourself perfectly fine, and then black attitude happened.
That's me.
So watch this, and then watch this, and then watch this.
Black attitude.
Watch this. So then that's so that means
So white women don't snap. Indian women don't snap. They're not angry. It's only us black women. They play.
Conversation is done, and I address it.
To her defense, because it's not a race thing, it's a women thing.
Here's why I don't date black women. Nah, I did that. You want to no? Here's why I don't date black women. Listen to me when I'm talking to you lot.
I'm listening.
Because you lot don't like to fucking listen.
I'm listening.
I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place. And when you get your place, and when you get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were cheating on you then.
You're not men.
That's why they were
Watch
cheating
this.
on you.
Stay in your
That's why
fucking
they
place.
cheated on you multiple
Black women-
times.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I know.
you
And that's
put no one
why
in
I'm
their
never going to
place.
be in your
That's
proper
why you
ever
have to go
again.
and dip out
Yeah,
the pool
I'm not with
because
black
you
women
control
because you don't like to
nobody.
get put in your place.
Apologies,
Listen,
sir.
listen.
Apologies.
where?
Apologies.
Oh wait, you just wait. Did she just shoot? Did she just shoot?
What kind of
Did she just shoot? Go. Where's your hair?
Where's your hair?
Where's your hair?
Once you talk about black women's hair, you're on your own, my guy. You're on your own. I was with you.
All right. Let's go, man. Let's go.
I was going to ask you to pause it. I said pause it, but I don't think you could hear me.
Nah, I wanted to finish the whole thing so that
you're right. You're right.
I wanted to finish the whole thing so that we can have this last interaction, this last reaction, and call it a day. I want to keep it to 2 hours as well. Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna shoot off the top. First thing that comes to mind. If you guys, unless you guys want to say something, do you guys want to?
No, I'm fine. Let me just give a shout out to Durkee, Thompson. Shout out to, we've got 21 of you guys watching. Shout out to all of you, Durkee, Thompson, Jay, who to cares. I'm not sure what that means. Durkee says, really, you think I would pay to give my opinion? Not in this life or afterlife. It's clear they don't like the fact he's dating outside the race. I think they're more triggered than he is at this point. Ooh, yeah, go ahead, Hassan. Go ahead.
So I can kind of see why he lost his job, because his inability to de-escalate is really lacking. He saw an opportunity and he was matching their attitude. He says he wants a woman that's feminine, but he plays the feminine a lot better than some of the women do. He matched their energy, or their behavior, shall I say, and probably the most. I think the young girl, she must be in her early. She looks young. She looks like she's in her early 20s or something. He was matching the energy of a young woman who's in her early 20s. Okay, she don't have to get married and have kids and such, but she was immature. But she seemed a bit immature and a bit frustrated. As a mature man, he should have just focused on who he's answering. Stop making it about himself. He even mimicked a woman at one point. He said and he referred to it as black energy. The hands and told them to. I think he told one woman to shut up, and then was a lot. There's a lot going on there. He has an inability to control his emotions, I think, as JM said at the beginning, and to just act in a mature, emotionally stable way. And he ignited the whole thing, by the way. He started the whole I don't date black women because presented what would appear to be a logical argument that would benefit the discussion. He triggered something and then was not presenting the most mature responses and coherent responses. It was more like, well, and then being evasive with his answers and then shutting down with, I think, one of the panelists, one of the people in the audience. He really made the situation far worse than it should have been. And do I think he deserves to be fired? No. Does he deserve a lot of self-reflection? Yes. Am I surprised that he's fired? No. Because what did we just witness? We witnessed a man in his mid-30s, early 30s, speaking like a teenage girl in her late 20s. Her late teens, early 20s. Really emotional, incoherent, not presenting logical arguments, being provocative, and just being and then evasive from then onwards. If there's any grievance within the black community amongst black men in response to black women and maybe their perceived behavior, this isn't he's a poor representative. He really is. He could have just made a simple point, carried on, but he made himself the center of attention. Mentioned he went to prison more than once. Nobody needs to know that. Mentioned he even came up with terms like black attitude. This is then the black attitude. Okay, so no matter what a black woman does, there is an inclination towards she has there's an assumed behavioral trait that she has, and it's a negative one, black attitude. So it's not self-hate, obviously. That's a bit far stretched, but certainly he's not mature enough to be in a difficult situation where he has to express himself to a certain degree.
What about the other side? Did they do anything wrong? The other side, or was it just him? According to
you? They did quite a bit. They did quite a lot wrong. They were provoking him. They did sort of applaud at one point for presenting us, but they kept picking out of their own frustrations and reacting to the statement that he made. I don't date black women because they're standing yellow. Well, they could have, when they realized they weren't going to get a coherent answer or an answer that was logical or something that they could benefit from in terms of seeing themselves through his eyes, they should have just let it go. They should have just said, well, this guy just wants to provoke us. So let us move on to another topic. Let us not pick at him because he's going to get frustrated because he's trying to either trigger us or trying to get a reaction out of us. We shouldn't entertain this too much. And on top of that, let's say he was being sincere. Let's say he did have negative experiences with black women. Being another at least 3, maybe 4 other black women in his life that's given him a negative experience wouldn't have benefited from it. They knew on a certain level they're not going to get anything out of him. I think they sort of provoked him a little bit. And as a mature man, he should have not gone down that path. He shouldn't have tried to provoke them. They shouldn't have, reciprocated his desire to have an emotional argument. They're all kids, pretty much, to a certain degree. They're all paying rackets.
JM, what's going on, bro? Let's hear from JM, man.
You know what? Yeah, Hassan was listening very keenly to my initial. And I won't say, yeah, so I'm glad Hassan has echoed some of the stuff I was saying at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, were they trying to goad him? Yeah, of course, they were triggered. They were triggered by his statements. Because, and I gave the reasons why there was a possible triggering, because the inference was there's something wrong with black women. That's how it would land with black women when they hear this type of statements. And they have a reason, there's legitimacy in why they would interpret this type of that statement as such. So yeah, they were triggered, and yeah, they tried to retaliated. They goaded him, and they got him upset and triggered. And I said from the beginning, as a grown man, a sign of manhood is in a situation like that where it's not life or death. There's nothing really at stake here. A man needs to be able to control his emotions. He could have walked off. He could have de-escalated, as Hassan said. He rose to the occasion and became, he became belligerent. Also, I think what made his whole kind of position collapse, I think, was when he made this statement that the reason why he kind of, the icing on the cake, as it were, was, I don't date black women because they don't, quote, like to be put in their place. That statement alone, for me, is not in any way, shape, or form a legitimate critique of why you wouldn't date any woman. And I'll explain why. The statement being put in your place in polite society or any society has negative connotations. It suggests there's some type of level of coercion. It even suggests at some level aggression and abuse. So and coming from someone like him, who is aggressive, who comes from a self-admitted criminal background, who presents as aggressive, it really delegitimized his statement because it presented himself as a bit of a bully, to be honest, and a bit belligerent. And ultimately, that was his undoing, I believe. And that, along with the subsequent videos, which I don't feel enough time to cover now, where he categorically did say the words, "I hate black women." Yes, I hate black women. I don't think he said it on this particular video, but there's subsequent videos where he's even more triggered. I think it was behind the scenes videos for this video, where he's ranting and raving and doubles down and makes that statement. So yeah, this is someone that brought his downfall down on himself. Hopefully he'll learn from this situation and learn to control himself and his emotions. Yeah, that's basically my last statements on that.
It's funny you said about that video. Can you guys see the screen by any chance?
We can see the YouTube.
No. Yeah, because I actually got my Instagram open. But yeah, my personal thoughts on that is yes, James is absolutely right. He should have he should have I can't believe I'm gonna say that. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say emotional intelligence. He should have been a little bit more mature. He should have controlled his emotions more. That's what he should have done. But when you constantly misrepresent someone and you constantly accuse someone of something they're innocent of, it's going to get on your nerves. It's a tactic to get on your nerves, to get you to get you emotional about the situation, especially when you're attacking that person's mom, when you're attacking that person's race, things that you are emotionally attached to. I'm emotionally attached to my mom, emotionally attached to my father, emotionally attached to many things. So if I hear you consistently accusing me, accusing me of things that I don't believe in, and you're consistently misrepresenting my position, I am going to react in a negative way. I am going to get, at least sorry, I'm going to get angry. I'm going to get frustrated. And me personally, my advice to him would have been, you should have left. You should have said, I see what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to get me to lose my shit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the mature thing. I'm going to be the bigger man and I'm going to leave because you guys are obviously not mature enough to have this conversation. Okay? Because you're too triggered. Instead, he rose, like JM just said, he rose to the occasion. And when you rise to immature occasions, you're going to get immature results. And that's exactly what happened. As far when he said you don't like to be put in your place, I think what he was alluding to, because he also mentioned, black attitude. We can't deny that there's a stereotype about black women and black attitude. Like black women have this type of negative attitude. Now, is that all black women? Of course not. Is it women of a certain area background and all of that? Probably, maybe. But you haven't met all of them. But do black women have that type of stereotype? They do. And by the looks of it looks like this is the type of women that he's been dealing with. These are the type of people that he's been dealing with. And given his background, it doesn't surprise me one bit. But yes, when you frustrate someone, when you constantly misrepresent them, when you constantly try to troll them, trying to get a reaction out of them, they're going to say something stupid. They're going to even say things that they don't mean. And for people, to me, I find sickening that people are not holding those girls accountable for what they've done, or those women accountable for what they've done. Yes, what he's done is wrong too. But what about them? Why are they not getting any backlash? And this is where I think the imbalance lies. And this is where I think where people are being hypocrites. And to me, this is feminism, by the way. This is feminism. You put the woman in a pedestal and the man is always wrong. To me, this is just another example of it. For him to get the backlash that he's getting and no one addresses the wrong that the women did, I think it's just wrong in every single level. But yeah, so that's my opinion on this show, and I enjoy, by the way.
Before we go, I've got a clip of the behind the scenes.
Shouts to Peter, man. Facts. It's good to see that people are interacting with the show. You know, it's a good thing. So yeah, do you want me to stop sharing that? Yeah, go ahead. Figure then we can call it a day. We can do a last thoughts and let's call it a day. We got 18 of you guys watching. Shout outs to all of you.
If you want to put it on the stage, I've got it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I can only find it on YouTube.
Yeah, she's no good, but not this, bro.
But because we're black, I can't say that, right? And because I'm a black king, I can't talk about black women like that, right? And I can't take out my race, right? Because I'm black. Fuck that. Take your black shit to yourself, man. Take your black shit home. Like, I'm not black. I'm fully black. My parents are black. Darker than you, my boy. What are you talking about? Fucking black women, all this shit. I'm a black woman, so you just hate me because you don't want to fuck me. I don't want to fuck you.
I can't actually hear anything, bro.
Oh, is the audio bad?
It's very bad. It's not just bad. It's very, very bad.
Let me try.
Not just bad. Not just bad.
That's mad. That's mad. That's mad.
I'm a black woman, so you just hate me because you don't want to fuck me. I don't want to fuck you. So don't fucking make up yourself.
That's mad.
Is the audio bad or is it all right? Or?
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
Shut up! I'm talking to you. Who you talking to? I'll call my brothers. Call your brother. I'll wet him up down. And they call their brothers, and what happened? He's now got beef with their family because she's got brothers, and they told her how to be a bad girl.
But
yeah, that's mad. Call your brothers. I want them right now. You know, that's crazy. That's crazy. Bro.
Sorry about the audio.
Yeah, this is him just venting at this point. But yeah, guys, last thoughts.
Can I ask one question to JM?
Go ahead, bro.
So, based on him, does he have any credibility, or is there some accountability based on what we've seen from the girls from the women on the panel, and even the one that stood up and asked him a question, and the experiences he's expressing or giving examples of? Do black women have any accountability, or is it all men like him that are the problem?
That's like you asking. Just to answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it would be like asking, does a white person have credibility to be racist towards black people? It's literally, I see it in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we think it's okay to generalize people and make negative statements based on our limited interactions with a whole demographic of people,
mm-hmm.
that to me is a height of ignorance, and I will never justify it. Never. So no, he doesn't have any legitimacy. He has no credibility in judging a whole group of women based on his limited experiences. Did some of those women behave badly in that panel? Yes, they did. Some of them were very immature, shouting, ranting, and carrying on. You're going to get that in all demographics of women, particularly online, particularly in these types of very volatile podcasts where they particularly get people who are going to be like that because it's boring in their minds otherwise. If you don't get people that are, going to be like that. So yeah, some of the women were behaving not exactly well. So I'm with Nelson in terms of should be some scrutiny about how they behaved. I agree with that. Some of the statements that they made, they were, as I said, they were triggered, and they were trying to trigger him, and he fell for it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't believe that he had any legitimacy in his statements at all.
Okay.
Right. All right. Hassan, final thoughts. Let's go.
Yeah, final thoughts. Ginga Jay, with the statement of "I don't date black women," because my experiences are so. Therefore, I'm going to generalize that to the majority of women that I expect, black women that I expect to interact with, even as far as to say typical black attitude or whatever the expression, black girl attitude. I don't know what the expression was. I think he overstepped the mark. I think he was maybe immature in the way he expressed himself. He should have thought, well, if I say this, what's the reaction going to be? Am I going to have a legitimate reason to explain X, Y, and Z to a group of the demographic I'm actually speaking about? Unfortunately, this is, I think, a byproduct of social media where you have to be outrageous, and you have to maybe put yourself to the verge of being cancelled, and say things that will infuriate people. I don't think it's worked out well for him, or maybe it has. I don't know. Who knows? He may get his own podcast. You know, no black girls allowed, or whatever the podcast name would be. But his statements of typical black girl attitude and things like this, it's not possible to generalize a whole race of people because you have to dehumanize them. You have to think there's something about you that strips you of your individual personality and absolves me of making the leap of actually not judging you based on somebody who looks like you. Of course, there are cultures, there are traits, but that culture doesn't extend to race. People in West London don't behave like people in South London. People in South London don't behave like people in London, North London. People in London don't generally behave like people in Northern England, and so on and so on and so forth. There's every character, every people has their own traits. Is it an ignorant statement? Yes. Did he behave in an immature way? Yes. Would things gone differently if he just said, I'm married to an Indian woman and I'm happy with her? Absolutely not. I don't think it would have gone, because they were quite patient with him, to be honest with you. At the beginning, they were asking questions and they were being reasonable, but he was being quite evasive. And then I think the fact that he was being evasive just irritated them a lot, because he seemed like he was hiding something. And then it came out, well, you black women don't know your place. Shut up. So and so. You can't speak to anybody like this and get a positive outcome. And if you are, you're looking. If you're either ignorant if you think you can speak to people like that and have no reaction, or immature, or lack impulse control. So Ginga Jay should have apologized immediately. He said, I'm sorry, I should not behave like this. It's immature. It's not how a man should behave, so on and so on. I think they even asked him, do you speak to your Indian woman like this? And he goes, yes, and she loves it, or whatever. And I think maybe to a certain degree, he was looking for a woman he can speak to in a derogatory way and get away with it. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Ginga Jay has really ruined his own reputation and did not benefit, because you're dealing with a tricky subject. So you better be prepared for tricky questions. And then I think the audience would have supported him if he had, as JM said, logical, reasonable answers. But yeah, it's an open shut case, apparently, unfortunately.
Okay. My final thoughts. I'm just gonna say that when you insult people, expect people to insult you back. And if they don't insult you back, they're probably following Christ or trying to follow Jesus Christ. So they don't want to do the revenge thing. Well, those women insulted him in a very personal way, and he reacted. And one of those insults, the entire time, if you look at the entire show, because I've watched it several times, what they're basically saying is that you hate your mother, you hate yourself, because you date outside of your race. And I think that's the reason why he mentioned the fact that they're wearing weaves. Where is your hair? The reason why he mentioned that is because you're talking about self-hate, and I think by then he lost it completely. And he mentioned it. A lot of what happened towards the end is him. It's like, I've tried to explain it to you guys. I've tried to be polite. You guys keep trying to get a reaction out of me. You know what? He completely lost it. And I would say 100% he shouldn't have done that. So when he's saying, "Oh, self-hate," you're not even wearing your own real hair. You're ashamed of your own real hair. You don't even put that on, and you're accusing me of self-hate. Again, when you insult people and you start talking about things that they are emotionally attached to, like their mothers, people get punched in the face for dissing people's mothers. Men know not to go there, not to insult someone's mother. Men know not to cross that line. Okay, so bringing up his mother all the time in a slick, sly way, you know, and telling him that he hates black women and all of that. Oh, he hates black women. Oh, see what I mean? That is infuriating, especially when you don't hate black women, especially when you love your mother and all of that type of stuff. So to me, they were insulting him at first. They were insulting him first. And when you insult people, people are going to insult you back. When you keep telling people, telling someone for 40 minutes, you hate yourself, therefore you hate your mother, you hate your black self. They're going to react in a way like we just saw. You know, what about your hair? You know, they're going to react like that. They're just human beings. And I think at that point he was just basically saying bare shit that I doubt that he actually meant it. I think he went home and he just, you know, I mean, thought about it. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I should have behaved like this and all of that type of stuff. To me, he should have left a long time ago. He should have seen it coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was plenty of time where he could have just said, you know what, I can see where this is all going. I'm not going to be a part of this. Let me leave. But he wasn't mature enough, and you can't blame him too much either, given his background. He wasn't mature. They were not mature. Bruv, immature people produce immature results. That's my final thoughts on that. JM, what's your final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I mean, echoing a lot of what you said and what Hassan said there, to be honest. I think ultimately he kind of let himself down. He let his emotions get the best of him. And if you're out here trying to promote yourself as some type of brand, because I think he had aspirations to be some type of host of a show, or, you know, some type of public facing person, you have to conduct yourself in a certain way. You have to learn how to conduct yourself. It's called media training. And if you can't control yourself, you become a liability. And people don't hire liabilities. So that's why he ultimately, I believe, he was fired, because he presented himself as a liability, someone who can't control themselves. A grown man, I should add, that can't control his basic emotions. So that addresses the firing issue. Regarding his overall views, I've made it clear that they're not, you know, he's entitled to his own personal views and to live his life how he wants. But I would never legitimize anyone making generalized statements about any group of people, white, black, women, men, anyone. So I can't legitimize his statements. I can't justify his statements, and I don't agree with his statements. I think that's it. I think I said most of what I've had to say on the show already. So it's been a good show, great show.
It was a really good show. Thank you for that, JM. To me, this was the most, and this is, I'm not just saying this because it's a Solution podcast, but this was the most balanced show I've seen so far. And I've seen loads of what people have to say in regards to this issue. And it's so one-sided. They're not trying to present two sides of the argument at all. They're not trying to look both, you know, and to me, I'm just like, you know, I can't believe it. So to me, I think we looked at everything, you know, and we've explored everything regarding this issue. Let me just acknowledge brother Rashid. The people in the comments say he presented a logical answer which makes sense, but these women didn't listen and were over emotional just because he chose to stop dating black women. Then Rashid, still, I face these types of women and I stayed composed all the time. They hate that I didn't give the same energy as them. Not everyone can be like you, Rashid. You're perfect. He's imperfect, Rashid, you know. Thomas Michael Rajkumar, shouts to you and welcome to the channel. Ginga Jay needs to learn to control his temper. He definitely does. 10 seconds is all it takes to not react out of anger and think more rationally. They definitely poked the bear. Absolutely 100%. But the fact that no one is talking about that, no one is holding those women accountable for how they behave, it's scary to me. It's feminism to me. Peter says, great discussion. That's what I like to hear. Shouts to Peter. Shouts to everyone in the comment section. Shouts to everyone watching. We had over 35 people watching. And thanks for everyone for interacting with us. This is Solution Podcast, guys. We out. Peace. Bye.